Arlington Mayor Jim Ross, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You have
Thank
filed for re-election. And why are you running for mayor for your second term?
Well, job's not done. We've got a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of momentum happening in the city here. I made a commitment to stay here as long as the voters will let me stay here and work my tail off. And that's what we've been doing. And we still have more to do.
So let me ask you, why do you think voters should re-elect you?
I listen, first of all. I pay attention to what's important to Arlington. We are having good progress with bringing wonderful companies here to Arlington and job creation. I'm a big believer in that we're stronger together than we are individually. We've created the Mayor's Education Coalition, bringing private schools and public schools and charter schools and homeschooling and TCC and UTA all together in one entity, who are now collaborating and working together when they used to be more competitive. I have advisory councils for the Black community, Latinos, Asians, LGBTQ, women, seniors, young adults, and Muslims. So I can stay in touch with what's important in those parts of community. And we're redeveloping parts of Arlington that need to be redeveloped. And we're excited about the type of jobs those are going to bring and what's going on. And those are just things outside of what's happening in the entertainment district, of course.
And so let me ask you, because you mentioned a lot of items there, what would you say your proudest accomplishments are in your first term?
Oh my goodness. Job creation in the Mayor's Education Coalition. I'm extremely excited about the amount of jobs that we're bringing here and the prospects of more and more coming right now. We're getting to that point where developers and businesses are starting to get interested in Arlington. Well, they have been interested in Arlington, but that interest is growing and growing and growing. And
I mean, spreading into other areas aside from the
yes,
entertainment district.
yes, absolutely. Another thing I'm very proud of is I co-chair the Veteran Affairs Task Force for the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and we have created a Veteran Affairs Task Force here in Arlington that is being modeled around the country now by other communities in the country. I think it speaks volumes for the type of community we have, on how the community takes care of those who have taken such good care of us.
And when did you create this Veterans Task Force, and what are you exactly doing with it?
Well, the Veteran Affairs Task Force, I want to say, was created around August or September of 2021. What we do is we bring together all of the various veteran organizations that support veterans. For instance, the VA, the Department of Labor, the White House Coalition for Veteran Affairs, United Way with their Mission Unite, VFW, American Legion Hall, and then the tons of private organizations that help support veterans. And the city, our task force, acts as a conduit that puts these services in front of veterans. You know, when you transition from military life to civilian life, I know this from personal experience, when you transition, you're used to following orders and carrying out your mission, and you're not used to going out and seeking out the help that's available to you. So we have organizations that can do everything from help veterans get mortgage payments, job placement, career training, and then help with things such as PTSD and things such as that along the way.
And you mentioned unfinished business. What would you include in that?
Well, we still have more job creation to do. We still have people who are suffering from food deprivation. We still have homelessness issues. We still have those type of things that we're continuing to deal with. We are a big city, and we have big city problems. So we're not done tackling all of those issues. We're making progress, but we're not done. And I've only been mayor for going on 2 years now. So there's only so much we can do. That momentum was started with all of my predecessors. I'm proud of the men that I've followed here in Arlington, my previous mayors. But we have to keep the momentum going. We have to keep this city staying polished, I guess.
And you mentioned jobs before, and the fact that developers are expressing more interest in your city. Whereabouts?
Well, I'll give you an example. There's a company out of Barcelona, Spain, that did a nationwide search, and it's a company called Wallbox that manufactures charging units for EVs. They chose Arlington to develop their manufacturing plant here. They immediately brought 125 good paying jobs in the manufacturing plant here, anticipated another 125 within the next year, and upwards to 500 to 700 paying jobs by 2030.
And where is this?
It's in Southeast Arlington, in a part of town that really could use that type of development there.
And that's operating right now?
Yes, sir. They're manufacturing those charging units right now as we speak. Wonderful group of folks. They have a great facility down there. They manufacture a commercial charging unit that can virtually charge a car within 6 minutes. That's pretty outstanding. It's almost like going to a gas pump.
Wow. And then let me ask you about crime.
Right.
How has the police department done? How has the city done in tackling this issue?
Well, our overall crime rate is down 4% right now. Now, 4% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at communities across the country, there's been a surge in crime post-pandemic. So I'm proud that our overall crime rate is down 4%. Our new police chief Al Jones, has done a tremendous job at getting back to community-based policing, getting the officers engaged in the community, because fighting crime is more than just putting officers on the street. It's developing the relationships with the community, and I'm proud to see what the police department's doing.
And that overall crime rate being down 4%, what about specifically violent crime?
Violent crime is up across the board, and Arlington's no different than anybody else like that. We're still struggling to keep that violent crime down. But there's very few communities, I think, that have experienced any decrease in the violent crime.
And do you believe that the chief's plan for community policing is addressing that and will lead to a reduction?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, fighting crime is a job for everybody. We have to, I'll give you an example. One of the big issues nowadays is the safety of our schools with the incident at Uvalde and other places. Our Mayor's Education Coalition, their first spearheaded effort in working together and collaborating to protect private schools, charter schools, public schools, is joining together on the See Something, Say Something campaign, working hand in hand with the Arlington Police Department to ensure that teachers, students, parents alike all learn how to keep their eyes open and how to join together in identifying potential problems before they happen.
And my last question to you is, are you expecting to face any major challengers this time?
The short answer is yes. I don't know who they are, but it's what's the old adage: prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I'm expecting to face some challengers. Now, whether or not anybody considers them major or not, I don't know. But I'm confident in what we're doing here in the city. I'm confident that the vast majority of our community here likes the path that we're on. And I'm willing to stay here if the voters are willing to keep me.
And I did have one other question, Mayor, and that is just on the fact that the terms now in the city, it's a 3-year term for mayor.
Yes, sir. That when I was originally elected, there were 3 2-year terms, and last November, proposition was put on the ballot, and the voters passed, I believe, by about 84%, that they wanted to extend the 3 2-year terms to 3 3-year terms. So, if I'm blessed to be reelected this May, then I will have an additional 3 years before I would run for my last term.
And you like that idea?
I do. 3 2-year terms is a short time to try to get everything done. The 6 years goes by quick. This first 2 years, I feel like I just got elected. Um, it gives you more time to develop those needed relationships, and that's what it takes to bring the good employers here. That's what it takes to make the progress that we've been making here, is building and nurturing those relationships, and having a total of 9 years. In my case, it'd only be 8 years, but having a total of 9 years for whoever succeeds me is definitely going to be important.
Arlington Mayor Jim Ross, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Take care.